Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It's been a while since I came on here. It's been about 5 days. I've been under the weather, as you can hear from my voice. My voice sounds different, but I'm glad that I'm better today, and I'm here to check out a fascinating video that talks about Denmark's global impact. We know Denmark has influenced the world in so many areas, and so I'm excited to check out this video to learn more about Denmark's influences or Denmark's impact on the world. So you guys, let's check out this video.
In the past few centuries, the world has become a global community. You can see it in our faces, the history we share, the food we eat. Everything we do and enjoy comes from somewhere. For this channel, our mission is to not only tell you about the country we focus on, but to also let you know how people and ideas from these countries have had an impact on the world. In our first episode of Global Community, we will explore the country of Denmark, a tiny European nation that has made a giant impact on the rest of the world. What do you know about Denmark, or what did you find fascinating about it? Please leave your thoughts in the comments below. Denmark is a nation of about 6 million people. Located in the European region of Scandinavia, it isn't very big. In fact, it's roughly 2/3 the size of West Virginia, meaning there are 41 states in the United States that are larger than Denmark. But its impact on the world is far larger than its size would indicate. When we're done, you'll be amazed at all of the wonderful things the rest of the world gets from Denmark. If you would like to use this video for classroom instruction, you can find a teacher-created worksheet in the description below. Denmark is in Scandinavia, a northern region of Europe also known as the Nordic countries. To give you an idea of how far north it is, Copenhagen, the capital, is at the same latitude as Dawson Creek, British Columbia. Located in between the North and Baltic Sea, it doesn't get quite as cold as you would think because of the warm waters flowing in from the Gulf Stream. Lego.
Oh my god, I was going to say it. What comes from Denmark? Like when I hear that question, like what comes from Denmark, there are two things that comes to mind: Lego and Novo Nordisk. I know Novo Nordisk plays a very big role in the pharmaceutical world because I know they produce lots of medicines that help with type 2 diabetes, with diabetes generally, and I know of Ozempic. So yeah, when I hear of Ozempic, my mind just goes to Denmark. So the first thing I was going to say was Lego. I know Lego is from Denmark because I've watched a lot of Denmark related videos that always mention the fact that Lego is from Denmark. So I was going to, when I saw that question, what comes from Denmark, I was going to pause the video and say, Lego, and then they beat me to it. But yeah, I know Lego comes from Denmark. Novo Nordisk, a very big company in the pharmaceutical world that produces medicine that helps with diabetes. So yeah.
One of the most famous toys in the world was invented in Denmark by the Lego Group, a company founded by Ole Kirk Christensen. In 1949, they began making the interlocking bricks, and the rest is history. The name Lego comes from the Danish phrase "Let godt," which means play well, and they are played with by children and adults alike around the world. Currently, there are 8 Legoland amusement parks, with the original in Billund, Denmark. The Lego brand has expanded to video games, board games, and even feature movies. Another creation that you might not know was invented by the Danes is Google Maps, created by brothers Lars and Jans.
What? Google Maps is also from Denmark? I had no idea. That means we are really enjoying so many things that came from Denmark. My children play with Legos. I use Google Map a lot. Whenever I need to go somewhere that I've never been before, all I need to do is just get my Google Map, insert the address of wherever I'm going to, and I'm there. Stress-free. Wow, so Google Map is from Denmark. Wow, these guys are geniuses.
Alstrup Rasmussen, who started developing an early version of it in the early 2000s. Google saw the potential in it and bought their company in 2004. Google Maps was launched in 2005.
Where did Danish Americans live?
Today, there are about 1.3 million Americans who are descended from Danish ancestors. While they are spread throughout the country, most live in California, Utah, and Minnesota. In fact, Minnesota's football team, the Vikings, was named so in honor of Minnesota being the center of Scandinavian American culture, having many people whose ancestors come from Denmark, Norway, Sweden, and Finland. The first major wave of Danish immigrants were members of the Mormon Church who helped settle Utah and other areas in the West in 1850. In education, Danish Americans founded Grandview University in Des Moines, Iowa. Current Americans who are at least part Danish include actors Scarlett Johansson and Viggo Mortensen, as well as Danish-born.
I know of this guy from Game of Thrones. What's his name? I I'm sure they'll mention him, but I wish I could remember his name. From Game of Thrones. I know he's a Danish guy too.
Lars Ulrich, who was co-founder of the heavy metal band Metallica and was born in Denmark. Danish actor 𝐋𝐈𝐊𝐄 𝐒𝐂𝐑𝐈𝐁𝐄 has gained worldwide fame for his many roles, most notably as Jaime Lannister in the HBO series Game of Thrones. Notable Danish people in American history include Charles Zenko, who died at the Alamo in March of 1836 in the struggle for Texas independence. Revolutionary War commander Hans Christian Febiger, who also served as one of George Washington's confidants during the war. Peter Lassen, a blacksmith from Copenhagen who led a group of adventurers to California in 1839. The trail established by Larsen was followed by the 49ers during the California Gold Rush. Sculptor Gutzon Borglum, the creator of Mount Rushmore. And Louis Lassen, a restaurant owner in New Haven, Connecticut who was believed by many to be the inventor of the ultimate American meal, the hamburger.
Even burgers? Wow, I thought burgers were like a German food. I never knew they were a Danish meal. Like I've always attached them to Germany. Burgers? Wow.
If you were living in Europe between the 8th and the 11th centuries, one of your greatest fears would be getting attacked by a fierce group of people to the north known as the Vikings. While the Vikings were a people that extended throughout Scandinavia, some of the most notable Vikings were from Denmark. Officially united and Christianized in the year 965 by the Dane Harald Bluetooth, the Vikings were also expert sailors and navigators. Using their longboats, which were superior to the other boats of the time, they were the first Europeans to land in the Americas, landing on a territory that is today Newfoundland, 500 years before the voyages of Christopher Columbus. Their stay in Canada was short, however, and they soon left the settlement they named Vinland, never knowing what they had discovered. The flag of Denmark, the Dannenborg, is the oldest continuously used national flag in the world and was first mentioned at the Battle of Lindenæs in 1219. According to folklore, the Danes were on the defensive when suddenly a red banner with a white cross fell from the sky. As a result, their luck changed, the Danish army won, and Denmark got its flag.
I've heard about this in a lot of Denmark related videos I watched, and it was said that the medieval legend, it was said that the King Valdemar, I can't pronounce the name, yeah, but King Valdemar was having a tough time at the battlefield, and then the Danes kept praying for him to succeed, for him to come out victorious, and then God answered their prayers and sent down that flag, that God himself sent the flag to the Danes, and then they came out victorious. I've heard this story in a lot of Denmark related videos I've reacted to, like those mythologies and all. Yeah, so I'm very familiar with this one, the Dannenberg. I think it's the oldest flag in the world. Like the Danish flag is like the oldest flag in the world. Ever since then, ever since that battle, they've been using the flag and it has been bringing them good luck. Yeah.
Danish author Hans Christian Andersen wrote some of the most famous fairy tales of all time. Andersen's 156 fairy tales have been translated into more than 125 languages. Some of his most famous work include The Little Mermaid, The Emperor's New Clothes, The Ugly Duckling, The Princess and the Pea, and The Snow Queen, which was the inspiration for the movie series Frozen.
Frozen is related to, like, Denmark had something to do with Frozen. My God, we are really enjoying a lot of things from Denmark. I had no idea. Frozen. Wow, this is interesting.
Jonas Bering, a Danish cartographer and explorer, was the first European to set foot on what is today Alaska. Working for the Russian Empire, he was the first to document that Asia and North America were separated by water. Those bodies of water were later named the Bering Sea and the Bering Strait in his honor.
Popular food from Denmark.
If you have ever had a Danish for breakfast, you have the people of Denmark to thank for it. Danish ingredients include.
If you've ever had a Danish for breakfast, there's a food called Danish in Denmark. Wow, interesting. Danish. Wow, I've never heard of it.
Flour, yeast, milk, and eggs with a lot of butter and margarine mixed in. In the United States, Danishes are made with fruit toppings. Restaurants in Denmark have also received international fame. Noma, a restaurant owned and operated by chef René Redzepi, has been ranked as the best restaurant in the world by Restaurant Magazine 4 times. And as of 2019, it is currently ranked second in the world. Redzepi has been credited with redefining Nordic cuisine and would often forage to find fresh flavors.
Government and economy.
Denmark has a parliamentary constitutional monarchy. Their monarch is Queen Margrethe II, but her role is largely ceremonial. Their head of government is Prime Minister Mette Frederiksen. In their economy, Denmark has high taxes, as high as 50%, and a high level of government spending, which are key features of a socialist economy. But they don't see themselves as socialist. By every other measure, they are a free market capitalist society in that it is easy to start a business in Denmark, and it has some of the strongest protections of individual property rights in the world. An admirer of the Danish economy is Senator Bernie Sanders from Vermont, who hoped to bring many of the Danish economic concepts to America. The taxes are reportedly spent well on the people of Denmark by offering free healthcare services and making college free for all, among other things.
Higa and Happy Danes.
Higa helps make Danes the happiest people in the world.
Did he just call it Haga? Remember, there was a video I reacted to that talked about Huga, and I was like, wow, if I were to pronounce this word from how it's written, I would say Haigi. And now this guy is pronouncing it that way. Meanwhile, from the video I reacted to, they pronounced it as Huga, and I felt okay, that was the right pronunciation. So you guys, the Danes watching this video, let me know in the comments, how is it pronounced? Is it Haga or Huga? Let me know in the comments.
Danes are big believers of Higa, a concept in which they place great value in spending relaxing time with loved ones and friends. They often create a better atmosphere through food, drink, and lighting candles. Friendships in Denmark tend to be lifelong as well, in which the children of your parents' friends often become lifelong friends of yours, giving Danes a much bigger web of support than just the traditional family. While they are often viewed as the happiest people in the world, despite being number 2 this year behind Finland, there are many more reasons other than just Higa and friendship. Danes make good money despite only working on average 33 hours a week, have the freedom to make choices, and live in a culture of generosity. Remember those high taxes? The government helps families as well. While the average American woman gets 10 weeks of maternity leave, Danish families receive a total of 52 weeks of parental leave. Denmark also has free or low-cost healthcare.
Denmark owned the U.S. Virgin Islands.
The U.S. Virgin Islands were once owned by Denmark, who held power over the islands for nearly 250 years, mostly used as sugar plantations. In 1733, St. John was the site of one of the first significant slave rebellions in the New World, when 𝐋𝐈𝐊𝐄 slaves from the Gold Coast, which is in modern-day Ghana, took over the island for 6 months. The Danish were able to defeat the enslaved Africans with help from the French in Martinique. The islands were sold to the United States by Denmark for $25 million in the 1917 Treaty of the Danish West Indies. Denmark, with its rich history, has had a huge impact on the rest of the world. Which country would you like to explore next? Make sure to leave your suggestions in the comments. Thank you for watching.
Wow, Denmark has really had a great impact on the world. But I was surprised that they didn't mention Novo Nordisk in the section of what comes from Denmark. I expected them to mention that because Novo Nordisk plays a very major role in the pharmaceutical world. They help a lot with diabetes, and it's something that should be mentioned in any video where they're talking about things that come from Denmark. Because if not for them, people suffering from diabetes would have really had it tough. But all thanks to them, all thanks to their wisdom, their knowledge that they are able to put into these medications to help control diabetes. So yeah, I felt it's something that should have been mentioned when they talked about things that come from Denmark. But then there are quite a number of videos that mention this fact, and that was how I got to know about them. If not, before I started reacting to videos, I had no idea about that. But because of these videos, they are usually very educative. I got to know about that, and I'm glad. And if you watch this video today, even though they didn't mention that, at least you heard it from me, right? You can also Google it. It's fact. It's a known fact. Yeah. So wow, I'm so impressed by how this small country, Denmark, is actually small but mighty. This small country, Denmark, has really had a great impact on the entire world. Wow, this is really impressive. I enjoyed this video, and if you did, go ahead, like this video, share it with your friends, and if you haven't subscribed to my channel, do well to subscribe to the channel and turn on your notification bell so you get updated when I post new videos. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you in my next video. Bye guys.